and I'm like, man, I haven't felt like this in a long time.
Brady, what does your shirt say?
We are Granite.
Hell yeah.
I
That's
like that.
Thanks.
I
yes.
feel like there's an underwhelming amount of like American themed shirts for teams.
Yeah. We typically try to do like something American every year, like whatever it is. I think it started with like a pair of shorts, and then we put it on like on our backpacks, and then like last year I was like, let's do it. We're gonna do something like a military first responder night. So we did that. We got a bunch of companies to donate like to some singlets that we could get. So we got these sweet granite singlets with American flags on the back. They're pretty sweet. And then we like gave away like 100 t-shirts for anyone who was first responder military that came to our dual meet. And then these were our league champ shirts, so they're like 5 or 6 times, or I forget what it says on the back. We just do one every year, which is pretty cool, but we ended up putting the American flag on it. So this is the latest and greatest.
I like the we run the league shirt
Yeah.
that you guys have. And I was actually just thinking, now that BHS isn't our league anymore, we could probably get that shirt.
You can probably
Claim
get
it.
that. How does that, do you guys like rotate leagues, or how does that all, is it like what is the breakdown there?
It's silly. So right now they restructured pretty much. Like our league didn't change too much. BHS just left, but they're in a league with I think Highland maybe, and then there's a couple other schools, but there's trying to kind of structure up more like regionally, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
in the current high school district.
Yeah, like west side, east side kind of thing.
Yeah, so ours is it's South Yosemite River League because we are in proximity to I don't know. I don't want to say on the other side of the river because it goes from east to west.
The west, yeah.
So that wouldn't necessarily make sense.
That's
I
funny.
don't know. There's like South Yosemite Mountain League. There's South
Yeah.
Yosemite Plains or something like that. I don't know. I think it's silly. Like,
Yeah.
and I think our duels are kind of set up weird too.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to duel anyone.
Really?
There's no league duels.
Zero
Our
league.
league tournament isn't even a qualifier anymore.
Does that determine like who's league champs, or like do you get a banner, or like kids get patches? How does that work?
Yeah, so we still have a league tournament. Like it still happens, and then there's still a pretty good amount of school pride. Like you still want to win league, but we won't even wrestle our starters. Like Miguel has never won has never won a league title.
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah, he's never won a league title. He's never wrestled in a league tournament.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's not a qualifier. You just automatically you send your lineup to Valley, and that's it.
Wow.
So with Rancho Bernardo and like Poway, they don't wrestle league either. They just like it's based on like your dual record, I think, within the league. Because we've never wrestled league either, and I was always like surprised. And I don't know why some schools wrestle league, but I always thought I was like, oh yeah, there's certain schools that do it, certain schools that don't. But I remember we never did. We never won it because Poway would always win it.
We do duels for ours, and then they used to have a tournament, but it was like an extra thing. So
Yeah.
if you won the league duels, you got a patch for that, and it was like a duels champion or whatever for your team. Every person on your team got a patch. And then they would do a league tournament, which didn't determine anything. Same thing, like it did. This
Yeah.
was for pride. And then they would got a patch for that too. So your team could win 2 patches, one for the duels, one for the tournament. But the problem is like a lot of kids were running into 40 match rule right before CIF. So a lot of times kids weren't wrestling, and not a lot, I guess, but like as our league got a little bit better, I suppose kids were having more matches and whatnot. So they decided to go away with it, which is fine. It was like you get like 3 matches and you win. And you're like, all right, cool, league champ.
We had they've been doing something in the Kern High School District where it's the South Yosemite Conference, and basically like if you win your league, you can go to this like conference mini tournament. So all the best in the conference can kind of wrestle in it. And if you win, I'm trying to remember if they did this last year, but if you win, you got like a guitar, and that was like your trophy if you won.
Wow.
And they'll do it on like the Kern High School District Network, and they'll commentate on it. But it's kind of like what you said, where we get to it's like right before Valley. So it's like you get to the end of the year and you got guys that are banged up. You got guys that are close to the 40 match count. And I'm not sure if that actually counts against your match count, because technically it's league, but it's also not a qualifier. But our thing is like, we sent a couple guys last year just because, they were healthy and they needed the matches. And there were some guys that we knew that were going to be there that would be good for them to wrestle. It just doesn't make sense for us to send all of our league champions there just for the idea, like, okay, you're going to get a guitar. It's like, why? We'd rather rest them that week, not have to make weight and save them, because Valley's the week after. So it just, I don't know. It doesn't, I just think there's a better ways of promoting wrestling where it's not something at the end of the year. It's something to where you can kind of get value in it apart from just winning something, like get value in getting matches and getting the right competition. Also, I mean, I think it would be cool to have more of like a dual meet format where it's, maybe everyone in our league wrestles against each other throughout the year, and then all the best leagues duel each other. Like that would make more sense. Just not doing it at the end. Maybe like beginning of January sometime, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think duels are the way to go in terms of like getting, people involved in communities and whatnot. It's the most fun for the kids, and no doubt about that, and for the fans. But it's just, there's never been like a good model of what can be done, because like the state duels was good for 1 year, and then it was like, all right, no one really cares about going to this, so we're not going. But
I mean, well, so a lot of the Central Valley schools went.
I think it was a good year, and it was like Poway, Buchanan, Clovis, and they all went. But other than that, I don't think there was much else. I want to say it was like 4 years ago. It might have been the first year they did it, first or second year.
I remember
this was maybe the year after COVID was the first time I was part of the team that went. And it was like BHS went, Clovis went, Buchanan went, Temecula Valley went. There was some other, I mean, there's, a couple other D2 and D3, D4, and they had them all in the same gym.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see just other teams competing against each other. Dude, we got wrecked pretty bad actually. And we wrestled D2. We're a Division I team, but we wrestled D2.
Yeah.
And BHS they ended up being on the opposite side of our bracket, and they won it pretty easily, and we got like 6th. But dude, that was probably the worst outing I've seen our team compete in, is that competition.
Yeah.
Those are different though, man.
I wish we could do. They tried it with San Diego too, doing like a CIF duels. I think it had lasted 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. RB hosted one of the set of duels or something, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool for the kid. It's fun. I mean, everyone likes duel. Like, it's just.
I don't know why it doesn't gain traction. Honestly, duels are fun.
Yeah.
Well, for high school, it's harder, right? Like, are you really going to pay? I think it would be great if Granite came up and had like a 3-way duel with like us and BHS. Like, that would be fantastic. But is it worth for one of us to travel 4 hours, bringing a JV2 or just varsity and girls? That's expensive.
But that's when you do like what the college teams do. And so like, cool, this college team is they're going to duel San Francisco State, they're going to duel Menlo, and they're going to duel Stanford. And then they're going to go wrestle the San Francisco State Open. Like we always used to do that. It's like they always plan it like that, especially like all the D1 schools are doing that. I don't know why high schools wouldn't. You go up to Doc B, cool, we're going to stop in Bakersfield, we're going to duel a bunch of teams, then we're going to go back up. You guys should do that right before Doc. Well, but then also people are going to be like, well, we don't want to get hurt for Doc B, we want to be prepared, we want to be at our best. So
I think there was an Oklahoma school that might have been Bixby, I don't remember, but I don't think they wrestled at McCal's. Yeah, but so I think it was. I'm trying to remember. It was maybe it was right before Doc B. That's what it was. So they flew out, they dueled Gilroy, and then they wrestled at Doc B that weekend.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
That was
if you're going to come out for Doc B, why not come out a couple of days early and get a duel meet?
I think it's great. I mean, it's definitely, like you said, if it's kind of risky to get hurt, and then the making weight scenario is kind of tough. It's like if you're be they're gonna have to make weight 3 days in a row, or what are you gonna do? Make them make weight and then get 1 day off and then 2 days after that? It's like it's kind of tough. I mean, I know the state meets 3 days now, so it might make sense to maybe make your team do that one time a year, but then you got to pick and choose what tournament you're gonna go to at that time. I suppose. That's always the tricky thing. We're talking about setting up some duels right now with Brawley and then
Nice.
RB.
Awesome.
I think the RB one's a little more in the books, or not in the books, but more in the workings. So you have to come down for that. Maybe you can be our commentator, and Brian can be I don't know. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be the live stream.
I'll talk smack.
Two commentators.
No, it's
dude, that'd be fun to commentate.
Where are you guys trying to do it home or away for you guys?
We're trying to do it home and then get away for the do away with them next year.
Cool.
I don't know if it's all set up yet. It's kind of still in the works, but
is there a neutral site?
Because we don't have a bunch of home duels right now on our schedule for our league.
Nice.
So we need a home duel. So it's like, hopefully that works out.
Yeah.
And can make it fun. I think we're gonna try to make it a cool event for the community and whatnot. Make it more than just us versus another team.
Yeah, I hope RB's good enough then, because you never know with like the rebuilding and new kids leaving or kids leaving, new kids coming in. I'm like, man, every year I'm like, man, I hope they can stay stacked, because like every year, like they'll be like studs who like stay, and then all of a sudden, okay, hey, some big names are leaving, or we can have some younger guys picking up the slack. That's what I think about Penn State every year. And like a year like next year, it's like you don't have to worry about it. But like 3-4 years down the line, you're like, what's this year going to look like for Penn State? It's always the same thing for me and RB. I'm like, what are we looking like this year? And hopefully they're competitive, and it's a tough duel. It'll be fun.
I think it'll be a good duel. I think it's going to be fun for the fans. I think there's going to be some exciting matchups and some good swing matches and whatnot. And overall it'll be good. I think we both have good good programs, so it'll be good for all levels, freshman to university, because I think we're planning on doing that.
Yeah.
And
Tara Blaney wants to beat you guys pretty bad. I was talking to him for I did a podcast with him, and you guys know, but
I know.
Dude, he wasn't talking smack. He was just like, he was just excited.
We got fire, man. We go back. I mean,
oh my God, we go back.
Dude, we had a duel when I was in high school, and it was my sophomore year at Steel Canyon, and we dueled at Rancho Bernardo, and they had a pretty dang good team. I don't remember how many state qualifiers.
What year was that?
That would have been 9-10.
9-10. Okay.
You guys had John Beck, McCurdy, Pantaleo, whatever. You had
Pagliaro, yeah.
You had Abby. You had like Pitzer, I think his name was. You had a couple other big guys that were pretty good. But
2010 was a good year for us.
That was great. So my coach is like the typical like chop wood, carry water guy, like just Mr. Miyagi, like don't talk trash, literally like respect your opponents, this and that, like no music, no, just do your thing. Go out there and compete hard. And we show up, and it's like this like packed out dual meet, lights off, and like while we're warming up, they're playing Barbie music for us. And we're like, all right, okay. So you know how you normally like pick a weight for like, all right, pick a card, and that's what weight we're starting at. So my coach never cared. He doesn't care. He's just like, you pick. So Joe, I think, I don't know. I can't confirm. This is what I've heard, is just, he's like, oh, we'll pick 71s or whatever at the time. We were so bad at upper weights, and you guys were so good at upper weights, and everywhere else was pretty toss up. And I think we were down like 28 or 30-0, like right off the bat. It was just like pin. Then it came around to like 106. I think we finally got like our first win, and then it was just like back and forth. We slowly chip away. And it came down to the last match, and we needed I think we needed a tech. And our guy kept like trying to pin the other dude, and it was like, it was your worst guy, and it was like, I think our worst guy too. And it was like the craziest duel, and that guy ended up like teching him, but he was trying to pin him the whole time. I'm like, dude, he's giving you takedowns, just take the takedown. Like,
hey, was that Orion De La Paz?
I don't remember your guy's name. Our guy's name was Nick Pastor.
Was that at 160s?
It was like 160s or 170s, I want to say, and it was just like the whole duel was great. Like, I mean, your guys' upper weights dominated ours, but every other match was like 1 point match, 2 point match, super close.
Dude,
like
I'm trying to.
qualifiers, and then like there was like the last match was like the worst two guys, but our guy was just like a little bit better in terms of like just knew what to do, and we came back. It was crazy. That was a fun dual meet. It was lights out, lots of fans and whatnot. So
Yeah.
always good against RB for sure.
Those memories of like dual meets and stuff are so, I think, underrated. I
Oh,
think at
yeah.
times it's like everyone remembers a big tournament, but like if you brought up what was your favorite duel, and it's like, dude, there were some fun ones. Like
There's
I'm
some
sure we
fun
could all
ones.
think back and think of one. It's something that in high school we had like such a small team. Like I had 6 people on my team, like
Wow.
total. So dual meets weren't super fun, but in college they were epic. But even coaching now, like kind of like what you were talking about with the Rancho, and you went to, was it Steel Canyon?
Yeah.
I mean, like where it's kind of back and forth, and it's like you think you have a good team, and like this happened to us a couple times last year, where it's like we have a good team, but guys, like we had like 4 guys get winning and then get caught and put to their back and pinned. They're like first year
Yeah.
varsity guys. They should on paper be winning, but now that we gave up those pins, like everything's just so much tighter, and it's like, golly. But it's so fun though. Like it's so fun for the kids.
Oh, and it's just exciting overall. You're like, this guy needs to not get pinned. This guy needs to do this, and you're just like riding every match, and it's like the score is adding up, and you're getting closer. And it's always fun when it's like the last match. It comes down to the last match. It's fun, and as like a coach, it's like nerve-wracking, but it's always so exciting to watch. We've had a few dual meets like that back in the day.
Yeah, being a last match is not. I've had it 2 times. It come down to me where we're losing.
Oh man.
Luckily, I was a lot better than the other guys. Bless their little hearts. But I was like, never liked being in that scenario. You just never feel good. You're like,
No.
shoot, like if I blow this right now, we're about to lose. Like, oh man.
It
I
was
remember Vic's kid one time for the match.
who?
Like you Coach Vic,
Yeah.
Helix and Mount Miguel. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
wrestled his kid one time. We were down by 4, and I had to like major him to win or tech him, and I think I pinned him.
Dude, I remember I was coaching against you, Wesley Abbey in the Masters finals.
Oh, that was a good match.
Oh my God, that was crazy. Our coach Dave, the head assistant coach, he was so mad afterwards. He threw a water bottle down and it exploded all over the mat.
You can see it in the video right now.
Yep. Yep. And my boy Zach Merritt was up next, and like that was like my kid. And I was like, we had to wait for him to clean up the mat so we could start the next match. I was like,
Wait, he threw it on the mat?
He spiked it, dude.
yeah,
Gronk
just spiked it where he was standing.
Oh my god.
It's like someone filming it in the stands, and you can like see because you can barely see their coaches' heads, and then all of a sudden you just like see his hand go like that, and then this water just like flies everywhere. But no, we had some like that's like there was never like hatred between RB and Steel, but it was always just like important matches.
Oh yeah.
It was just always like it was either a state qualifying match or like who's Masters finals or like.
And you guys were always like gamers. Like you guys, and not even the whole team, just you guys had such strong like specific gamers. You, Angel Ramirez, gosh, what's his name? I wrestled him at Palomar.
Maybe or
Dunning.
Jacob Dunning.
Dunning, and then Cody Rowland, right? Dude, you guys were just like so solid.
Yeah.
And like such like gamers, and it's like those guys kept you guys like so strong and so solid. Every year at Masters, it's like crap, like a Steel Canyon kid. We got this guy. It's like hopefully we run into you once we've already made it to state.
Yeah,
it was always you guys created like a really really cool team for yourselves. Back in those days.
We had a good coach. He was I mean, I think he could have done better in some areas, but I think in terms of like being in terms of wrestling, he did a great job. But in terms of fan support and getting community, not the most. He just didn't really care about that. He just was like, I want the most for my athletes. I'm gonna coach them, and that's it. But yeah, he was I mean, he's good. He used to be the coach of San Jose State way back in the day when they had a team. But yeah, RIP to them. Sorry, Brian. That's your area, I feel like.
I mean, yeah, I mean, kind of. I don't really know if I have an area anymore, but
you're not loyal.
Well, I don't know. It's not that.
You're in Bakersfield now for so long.
Well, but here's the thing: it's like I've been in Bakersfield longer than I lived in Santa Cruz. But people in Bakersfield are like, "Now you're from Santa Cruz." when I lived in Santa Cruz, it was like, nah, dude, you're from Illinois.
You're from
But
Illinois.
I'm not from Illinois though. Like I don't, like I was born there, I lived there, but I don't rep Chi-Town. Like I don't do that.
How long did you live there for?
I lived there until 7th grade.
Oh, long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Then I moved to Santa Cruz, and then 7th through my senior year of high school, and then my mom moved right before my 5th year of college. She moved to Bakersfield with my brother.
Nice.
So if anything, I'm gonna claim Bakersfield. Like, fiance is from here.
Mhm.
I teach here. What happens if I have a kid? Am I still not from Bakersfield?
You got
At
roots.
what point am I from Bakersfield?
You got roots, so I think you're gonna be a Bakersfield guy.
Yeah, well, it's like, if I go somewhere else and there's like, where are you from? It's like, I just say Bakersfield.
Yeah, it's
Like,
easy.
I'm not going to explain that whole story.
Yeah.
You ever been to the Crystal Palace?
Yes.
All
Have
right.
you been there for brunch?
Yes. All right. You could say you're from Bakersfield then. I mean, have you been to Luigi's?
No, I have not.
Ooh, that's got to be next on your list. That's the only way you're from Bakersfield, I think.
Where is that? Is that on White Lane?
I don't know. No, I think it's more downtown area. I don't know exactly where, but it's like a staple.
It's a Staples.
Might
I'm
have
not
to
sure
try
if
that
I
next time we venture north.
Oh, definitely. Luigi's is like the spot.
Is it pizza or like Italian food? What is
It's
it?
Italian, yeah, like pastas and stuff.
All right.
And it's like more of like it's not Basque, but I feel like it's like family stylish. So I feel like that brings like the Basque in. Bakersfield is so much like Basque food.
This is the new restaurant that opened, kind of more on like the west side of town. It's Flame and Fire, and it's Brazilian steakhouse.
Ooh,
Oh.
where's that at?
Dude, so it's new. It's off of Allen, and I can't think of the cross street, but it is my favorite place on earth.
Wow.
Like literally, you sit down. Like the manager is super cool. He wears a suit. He comes around like every 20 minutes just to ask like, how you doing? Like, are you enjoying the food? Do you need any more of this? And then they have guys. They call them gauchos, and they basically just have like a thing of meat,
And they walk around you?
plate, and they walk around and they just go. And you just flip. There's like a thing that you flip, and if it's green, it means go. If it red's, it means stop. And they'll come around with like roasted pineapple. That was probably my favorite thing. Like even better than the steaks.
No way.
But they're like, yes. They're like, do you want this spicy chicken? And I'm like, yes. It's like, do you want this kind of meat? Do you want this kind of meat? Do you want this kind of meat? And it was my favorite place. And my Emma is like, her thing. She was just happy to see me have so much joy in my heart. Just my reacting like, oh God, that was like so good. But if you guys come here, the only thing is though, you have to do reservation in advance.
Okay.
And it's probably not like the best kind of restaurant to have while you're also there for a tournament. But if you ever come to visit, that's probably the place to go. That I would recommend.
Oh, that's good.
We had one of those on my when me and my wife's honeymoon, and it was like same thing. They just had all this different they bring like a skewer full of things. Like, all right, slice it, boom, green, let's go, more.
Oh yeah, it's always green. It's always going.
Yeah.
The thing that gets you is the sides. They have unlimited sides.
Fill up on those, yeah.
It's like, dude, stay away from that because that'll fill you up. Like I'm here for the meat.
What's the most popular place called? Texas de Brazil. That's what it is. I've been to one here in Vegas, I think it was, and that's what it is, Brazilian barbecue or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have a whole salad bar. So instead of I don't know if the place you were at, they bring you sides, but I'm like, I'll sign up for the salad bar, but I'm loading my plate up. I'm coming back with things. They're like, you have room for meat? I go, 1 second, let me finish my pasta, mashed potatoes, a little bit of a chocolate mousse on the side, the whole smorgasbord that you put together.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about that salad bar. Count me in.
I'm gonna get my money's worth, dude. If I'm paying, $75 for whatever.
Yeah.
It might have been more than that. I don't even remember. I think I split the check with someone, and I think I paid like $300, bro.
Oh, man.
With the drinks and with the whole buffet situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. But if I'm doing that, dude, I'm sorry. You can go for the sides, Oren, but
I'm
staying away, bro.
You're like, where's the tomahawk steak? Where's it at?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'll do that all day.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm so like happy I get to see you guys and talk with you. I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah.
You've been grind podcasting with the coach.
I know, nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like I'm very thankful I had that vacation because, dude, I just went, I think like 4 in a row, just
Yeah.
podcast, and then just been putting them out the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it kind of just, I think I got over the fear of, not fear, but just the awkwardness of reaching out to people to
Yeah.
talk. And the way that I've kind of been preparing has changed. Like before, I would have like this big long list of questions, and that's not really fun because it just turns into me asking them a question and they just
Yeah.
respond.
Yeah.
But just trying to make it to where I just do my research about them and just talk to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever
the best.
happens,
Just
happens.
natural conversations is the best. I think. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think Orrin, we were talking last time about it, but it's like trying to become like Joe Rogan of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Like I think it's more fun. It's more fun, you know.
It's the easiest thing to listen to, and it's the most enjoyable to watch. You watch something where they're like robots, you're like, all right, like it's like hard to like, you're like, I'm here for the information, and that's basically it. But with when you're having a conversation, it's like you get wrapped into the conversation. People are searching stuff while you're talking, like, and people also have opinions. So like I'm listening to like other things, and I'm like, you're fact checking, you're getting mad, you're like, I wish I could talk, blah blah blah, and it's just like you're engaging, whether it's actively engaging or like mentally engaging. I think engagement is important because then it brings people back to listen and to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool talking. I don't want to say who my favorite guests were, but I'd just say some of the conversations they like literally like we did an hour and it went like that.
Yeah.
And I've been trying, you know, I think everyone that I've talked to, like I have some kind of, you know, connection with,
Yeah.
like Brock Zackrell, Russell Rolfing, and then
I love
McCade
Brock.
Ford, like coaches with Russell Rolfing. So I just use that to talk, you know, and kind of like it just opens things up a little bit more.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, we
absolutely.
know that guy. Oh yeah, that guy sucks. Or I rip on Russell all the time, but
Yeah.
he'd be a fun guy to have on.
Yeah, Russell would be a fun guy to have.
This is super side note, but it didn't isn't Bakersfield looking for a new assistant coach right now?
Yeah, so I found out maybe a week or two ago. You know, I talked to Smith, I don't know, once every couple of weeks maybe, and I'll try to pop in there when I can. But yeah, Steve Blyce took a job at West Point, so he's coaching for Army, which is cool. I bet that's a really fun job to have because you're surrounded like some really awesome people. But yeah, you know, CSB is looking for an assistant. I have a couple just an idea of based on what I've heard.
I've heard a couple names thrown out. I'm not going to say a name, but I know of one at least.
We need some hot takes, man. Like I don't mind some hot takes.
I can't throw it out, but I mean, we could speculate at some other people.
Can we put
speculate?
Can we pause? Can we pause real quick?
We can talk about it after. We
We can pause real quick. You can tell me.
No, we'll say it at the end. Who do you think? I don't know what's your
no, because I'm gonna forget.
You're the inside man. You are in the room. You know.
I will say this. Is the person that you're thinking of, are they a CCB alumnus? Okay, so there's two different people then.
Yes, there is two
different people.
Yeah. Well, what do you know?
Are they currently involved?
If you're not going to spill, I'm not going to spill either.
This person has not been a college coach yet.
Okay.
Good, but has not coaching yet.
You blanked out we had a little connection issue. So this person's a high school coach?
The person I'm talking about has not gone into coaching yet.
Not gone into coaching yet.
They are recently done competing.
Yep. From what school?
The good one.
Oh.
I'm not spilling the beans, all right? I don't think he's gonna take the job.
Max Dean?
No. That'd be cool. That'd be
Penn
sweet.
State?
Hey, did you guys hear Jacob Cardenas is leaving Cornell?
Yes, I can't believe that.
It's like after this year, though. That's the thing. So he's like saying he's staying at Cornell. He's gonna graduate, wrestle this year, and then he's like leaving. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. I guess it's.
Why would you say that right now?
It's weird, but Ivy Leagues, you can't do grad school, so I guess you have to go somewhere. So, but it's just weird that he's now. I guess it just probably gives him more opportunities for recruitment throughout the year. I don't know.
It's kind of weird. You're selling yourself while you're still with the other team.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I was his teammate, I wouldn't be happy about that. Like, bro, just be present, man.
Yeah.
Dude, Cornell is going to be freaking stacked.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we need to have an episode where we talk about who's going to take second, because this I think is so fun. And the whole title of the episode, who's going to take second, like that already is like, when you're just getting, yeah, I know it's not a hot take.
It's a hot take. There's a lot of teams that could take second, dude.
No, okay, sorry. I thought you meant like not who's going to take first. Like, we know Penn State's going to win. I thought that was the hot take that you were saying was hot.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you say Iowa's going to take second, they're going to get like their fans are going to be pissed, right? They don't want second. But if you say like, I don't know, Ohio State's going to take second, they're going to be like, that's pretty good. Like they haven't been in the top 5, I feel like, or like the top 3 or 4 in the last years. So that might be good for them, But I feel like if you say Iowa, then they're going to be like, we're not taking second. They just got all these transfers too. They're not going for second place.
But they didn't get Gable.
But no.
Something really bad would have to happen to Penn State for them to not repeat as national champions.
I agree. I feel like they're too stacked. They're way too stacked.
I agree.
Like even if Iowa got AJ Ferrari this year, like, do they have a better chance? Yeah, they have a better chance. Is that turn into likely? No, I don't think so.
Do we think AJ Ferrari is wrestling another college match?
No, personally, I don't think so.
I hope so, but I don't know. I hope so.
Coming back.
Because honestly, that first year that he won it, I called it. I put him on my bracket. I go, dude, he's way more athletic than these guys, and he's smart enough. He's going to figure it out. And honestly, his match with Amin was probably like the thing that sealed it for him. Because that wasn't his final, right? That was a semi.
That was semi.
That's the one where he went to spike it, and John Smith is like, nah, and took the headgear. Yeah. Like, we were playing around.
He beat didn't he beat who did he beat in the finals? Was it Bonacorsi?
Yeah, Bonacorsi.
Yeah.
Semis. Yeah. Bonacorsi.
Are you sure? 3 years ago, Bonacorsi was in the NCAA finals? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So last year, the year before, I think he got maybe round of 12.
Yeah,
it was Nino. Damn.
And then the year before it was, Well, that was one of those things where, you kind of look at that COVID national tournament, and there were some guys that had some weird placings. And part of it was the seeds were weird because guys hadn't seen each other all year. Oh, yeah. And there was definitely some awkward blood rounds and some awkward quarterfinals. And there were some guys that were in the finals that maybe you think, I don't know if this was a regular season, they'd be in the finals.
Yeah.
But like Nino Bonacorsi going from that to, I think, round of 12, and then this last year winning a national title. Yeah. Again, 97s was a crazy weight, but I mean, you have to give him so much props, and even just his interviews and how grateful and being a kid from Pitt, like from Pittsburgh, and wrestling at Pitt, and now he's staying there for his international career. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a big fan of Nino.
Yeah, no, Nino's a good dude. I remember I covered the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, and he was wrestling in it, and I remember seeing his dad, and I was like, he's just like a spitting image of his dad. So when he was in the finals this year, I was like, hopefully they show his dad, and they did for a moment, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, because he's a good kid, and one of my former kids wrestles at Pitt, and he loves Nino. Nino's just a tough worker, has been for a long time. But man, I'm surprised he was in the finals his sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Redshirt sophomore year. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else was at that weight. Warner, I think, was there. Steve Buchanan. Is he the 2 seed?
I think he was the 2 seed. Yeah, I mean, I think
he was that year.
He was
showed out that year. He showed up earlier, and
maybe Hunter Bolin was like the 3 or something like that.
No, he was at 84s.
Yeah, Bolin was 84s.
Didn't he go 97s for a year?
Maybe after that.
I don't think so.
Because
I think he's been 84 his whole career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that.
Well, I wrestled him at 74s his redshirt year, so.
Oh, way that time. Because before Bolin, didn't they have Was it Hot? Jared Hot?
Jared
Yeah.
Hott was in 97s.
He was 90.
He
That's what I'm saying. I
finished.
don't think Bolin was in there while Hot was 97. I think he was always 84, and then they got
I believe so.
their other guy was.
Those
Well,
dudes-
Hot graduated before COVID, I think.
He did.
Before that 21 tournament.
Yeah.
So Bowling could have been 97s.
Maybe for a year. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's 3
no,
years
no, no,
ago.
no. His senior year, he was at 97s.
Are you looking it up?
I'm looking
Young
at it
Jamie?
right now. His
Young
senior
Lauren?
year, it says 184 in his thing, like total, but I feel like 1 year he went 97s. Let me see.
I definitely saw him ranked at 97s at one point. And I don't know if maybe that was like a preseason ranking, or maybe I'm just crazy, but I could have sworn.
I think you're crazy, but I mean, I'm below biased.
Both things could be true. I could be right, and I could also be crazy.
Yeah, it looks just like 84s throughout. But in the last year was 21-22 for him. And he went 1 and 2 at NCAAs that year.
I think didn't he just wrestle this year? He wasn't on their lineup. Are you sure?
Two-time
I think so.
All-American. It says.
Interesting.
Because Mackay Lewis, wasn't he
74s.
84s? Wasn't he 84s?
Mackay
74.
74s.
I'm pretty sure Bolin was there this year. I'm like
dude.
semi, almost 100%. I'd make you burrito bet right now.
You want burrito bet?
Burrito bet. Bolin was
All
at
right.
the place.
Okay, he was this last season.
This
Okay.
last.
Okay, he might have been there, but was he?
No.
competing?
He was competing. Let's shake on it.
Okay.
All right. Virtual shake. Hunter Bolin competed 22, 23, whatever year we're talking about.
The most like this previous year he wrestled at NCAA.
Yeah.
The 2022-2023
Right
season.
now.
I'm looking at that. And
Let's
if it
look
was,
at the roster.
it would be at 97s, honestly.
2022-23 roster. He's on there right now.
You're
180.
a damn liar. No
Not
way.
lying.
No, okay, but did he wrestle though?
He did.
I'm looking.
Let's look at the NCAA tournament. That was the bet though. So he might be on the roster. I'm looking this up too.
Let's just look up the NCAA bracket.
Yeah, he was 7 seed.
Okay, but did he like weigh in?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he lost in the quarters to Hidley,
He beat Hidley in the duel, I think, or at ACCs or one of the two.
and then he lost to Kane in the I think Friday evening first match Friday evening.
All right.
The blood round.
All right.
I
Okay.
want a good burrito. I don't want none of this like the Bakersfield stuff.
I'm gonna buy you a Bakersfield burrito, and then I'll bring it for World Challenge. So I'll sit in the car for like 2 hours.
There we
Brady,
go.
that was a good call. I think we need to have Hunter Bolin though next just so he can get his respect back a little bit and kind of chew us out a little bit.
All right, send the DM. You guys can send the DM.
You're the guy. You have no fear, Brian. You already said it. You're down. No.
I think, yeah.
Do you guys watch any junior worlds at all or U20 worlds?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see Luke Lilledal's? Was it his semi or his final? I think it was his.
It was his semi. It was insane.
Oh, dude, I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad this is like in like normal morning time and I can watch this. And he's down, and I was like, dude, Luke needs like a miracle right now. Like he was down by whatever it was, 4 points. He needs a miracle. And I was like, I feel like he could do it, but I was like, there's no way. And the dude's wrestling so defensive.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he did that. But
dude, I was just all staff meeting with like literally every teacher in our school. And I'm watching this thing up there, like trying not to like make a scene. And the guy next to me, like, what are you watching? I'm like, Junior Worlds, man. This is Team USA. He's like, all right, cool. And he's like doing good. And then like he made like a cut. He got laced. And I'm like, no, this is bad. There's short time. I'm like, he needs something. I'm like, he can do it. And like, it just I don't even step over like underhook thing. I don't even know.
What was it? It wasn't like a short fireman's carry, right? No.
He had like an
elbow though, I feel like, and he did something where he kind of like, I'd have to see it again.
He had like an overhook, and he like literally stepped over the body.
Yes, and he just had his arm.
Yep.
And the arm was like
it's like an arm bar kind of. The guy was just stuck, and then the guy just quit, like, which he was up by 2. The other guy was up by 2. All he had to do was fight off his back, and he would have won. But Just
No, my baby was sitting there, and I was like, "You're watching U20 Worlds." I was like, "You're watching the semis," and he's just laying there, like watching just whatever the movement is. And I screamed when Luke did that. I like lost it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I baby here, I gotta like not scare him." And he was kind of scared, but I was like, "Dude, this is a good thing. This is good news." But I could. That was right away. I was like, "Dude, I can't wait for this podcast because that's like the first thing I want to talk
Yeah.
about." It's
I
not the first
texted
thing, but
Sean right away. I was like, Sean, like, please tell me you're watching the like Junior Worlds right now. And he's like, no, where's it on? And I'm like, dude, go. Because that was like, we had 4 Americans in a row, I think. And I'm like, dude, that was the first one. I'm like,
yeah.
you got to get on. But, oh man, did you
Yeah,
hear
we
that
had-
they're all like sick? That
Candy
came
with the
out.
Candy Blades.
No, well, that I think the girls team too. But like, I guess a bunch of the U20 team with the juniors, like, we're all sick with something. Like, even James Green, like, didn't even coach, I think. And he was like the head
What?
coach. He was like, James Green was like stupid sick from what I've like read, and then the rest of the team was just like just not feeling good. Like, they still competed, but they just were like off.
Bro, for being off, they looked, and like I'm looking at the results right now. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, second to Iran. I
Second
think
to
they were
Iran, they had,
behind.
like,
and honestly,
Japan was up there too, I think.
yeah, I'm surprised we got second, but dude, with some of these individuals, I'm like, our future is bright because that's something too. So like I said earlier about my high school team, I kind of see like, what are we going to be like? I look at that. I look at cadet worlds and junior worlds. What are we going to be like? And you always hope we're going to have the Gables, we're going to have the David Taylors, the Kyle Diggs, those guys. But it's always like, cool, a new year. How good are these guys? Dude, Mitchell Messenbrink, Flo posted his like 24 minutes of wrestling, and I was like, I have to watch all 24 minutes of this. I can't believe the kid committed to Cal Baptist at all, ever. What in the world? Where did this kid come from?
Well,
He's
I'll say
incredible.
this. I think he was maybe, I don't know what the right term is, but obviously overlooked, right? Coming out of Aspen Wrestling Academy, coming out of Wisconsin. Obviously overlooked. Also, CBU is very good at recruiting. Okay, very good recruiters. Okay, they've gotten really good recruits, and he had some success. And for me, what's interesting is he could get an Olympic redshirt this year, and he's gone what 2 or 3 years in college without actually even having to compete yet, like under
Well,
whatever.
he only had 1 year. Last year was his like true freshman year, but he didn't compete, so it's redshirt.
So he redshirted, and then the year before was COVID, right?
He was a high schooler, I think, at that point.
Was he? Okay.
So I think that's what happened. I think he kind of slid under the like, he was good. He was nationally ranked, and then like I think he signed with CBU a little bit early, and then he qualified. Like, he beat Pinero Johnson. That's who he beat last year to qualify for the team. He was losing by like 8 or something. He's about to get teched, and he ended up coming back and teching Pinero. That was to make the team, and then he took silver, and then I think he kind of like started building that hype. And then I saw a podcast with him recently, like it was in the Penn State room, and they're like, "Did you feel like CBU like lied to you or like kind of like tricked you to go in there?" And he's like, "No, I just like liked it, and I just kind of like, I don't know, felt like I was, I don't know what, I don't want to make him sound bad, but I think
I listened to part of that. I've seen like clips of it.
Yeah.
And he sounds very well spoken, very humble.
Yeah.
I mean, he sounds like a perfect like Penn State kid, like intellectual, smart, and just a killer on the mat. Like another guy, like I'm surprised Meyer Shapiro isn't going to Penn State, but like good for him. Cornell's incredible.
My goodness, that guy, he's
to me, those two are the same, and they're going to be on a collision course at some point. I feel like that's going to be David Taylor, Kyle Dake type stuff.
I don't know if they're going to be at the same weight this next year. And again, if Messenbrink ends up, or they both could Olympic. No, you can't really. Can you Olympic redshirt if you're at Cornell?
I mean, I think you can, because I'm pretty sure Yanni did, but I think you get.
Oh, I don't know.
You might have to like take a leave of absence from school and do all that stuff. I don't know about that.
I don't think Shapiro and Messenbrink would be the same weight though.
No, they're close, 70 kilograms.
49, 57, I think, or like maybe Messenbrink was kind of 65.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't think they're going to be at the same weight. Like, I think down the line.
Yes.
I think Messenbrink, I heard, is small.
He's shorter, yeah.
Yeah, but down the line they could be 65, maybe 74.
No, I'd be down to watch that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and who else? Dude, Jesse Mendez showed out. I love Jesse Mendez. He's so tough.
Have you watched
State? What do you guys think about the news recently. What's your takes?
The big news.
On Oregon State, or not
Yeah.
Oregon State,
Ohio State.
the Ohio State.
What do you think? You want me to-
About Sammy getting shot.
Yeah. Not that
Dude.
that's funny. Sorry,
I
Sammy.
don't know. So, what are the exact details on that?
Let me look.
I
it
read
up.
them. Okay, I read them like
Yeah.
shortly before the podcast. But Oren, do your research while I'm talking. I read he's in this alley behind like this place or whatever, which I don't know. I'm like, all right, why are you in an alley? I don't know. Like, unless you're owning a restaurant or something and you're dumping the trash, like don't go in the alley. But the thing said that civilians or someone spectator saw him trying to run over rats with his car. And then these two people with a gun, or both with guns, like pulled him over basically and said, get out of the car. And then they shot him, and that was it. That's what I read. I don't know what you read. What'd you guys read?
No,
Wait, where's that? What's your source on that, dude? That sounds
That
so
was like
random.
that was like the Columbus like area thing, news or whatever.
I just pulled up Flo's thing from 2 days ago, which I mean it was very light on detail and just said it stemmed from an attempted robbery. The station reported that an 11-year-old boy witnessed the shooting and said the victim identified himself as an Ohio State wrestler. But right when I saw the news, I was like, holy crap. But then immediately you read like he's in stable condition, he's doing well, but like 2 surgeries, man, that's crazy.
So it's this is the Columbus Dispatch. It's like their official newspaper. But the shooting occurred at 8:30 in an alley near this. I guess it was behind this like grocery store or something. But then it says, where does it go? Eyewitnesses told police that Sasso had been trying to run over a rat in his car. And when he successfully ran over the rat, he stopped his car and got out to talk to 2 children. That's what the police report says. And that's when he got carjacked. The 2 suspects suddenly approached him and one pulled a handgun on him, demanding his vehicle, according to a police report. The gunman shot Sasso before getting into the driver's seat. I'm like,
wow.
In my head, I'm picturing like a lot of different things, but I'm like, what the heck? I don't know.
Yeah, that's odd.
Well, do you guys not know wrestlers like either that you've coached or been on the team with that just do random things for some reason?
I got you. They do dumb stuff.
Like, there's not that they're a bad person, like in any means. Like,
No,
it's not that they're bad people. They just were squirrely, man. Like sometimes you just do something. What's the reason? I don't know.
For sure.
It was fun.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
I'm glad he's doing well, but like such a big name to have something like this happen.
I hope he's good for NCAA's. I mean, that's a far ways off. I think he'll be fine, but he was supposed to be on the U23 team in like a month.
Yeah.
I got a stat for you guys. Who is the last Division I college wrestler to get shot and still wrestle? That was the starter.
I was about to say Brian Robinson, but he's a football player for the Washington Commanders.
I was gonna say Plaxico Burress for the Steelers when he shot himself, but that's not.
They're not wrestlers though. They're not wrestlers.
Last wrestler to shoot himself? Oh man, I don't know.
Is it a name that we would know?
Yeah, well maybe. I'll give you a hint. Iowa heavyweight.
Oh, was it Cassiope?
Before Cassiope. Who's the heavyweight before Cassiope?
It was the one before Cassiope?
Sam Stahl. Sorry.
Sam Stahl. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah. He
shot himself.
He almost wasn't allowed to wrestle because of that.
Yeah, he's like cleaning his gun in his garage and shot himself in the leg.
Oh, my God. Sam Stahl. I forgot about that. That guy was good. He was really good.
Jeez.
I used to call him Stahl.
I mean, yeah.
Stahl.
Good for...
He was a little boring, but
he was a competitive heavyweight at the Division I level.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Was he an All-American?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was.
Division I All-American.
I'm pretty sure
I can't say
1 or a 2-timer. I think the year I went, he took 8th or 7th, I want to say.
What year did you go?
Whatever was Cleveland. Was that 2017? 18?
Not 17.
I think it was 18.
We got to do one. We all got to go to one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite. Dude, they're talking about hosting it in like non-wrestling places. And I looked at
Nashville.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Bro,
Miami.
bring it to Vegas, please.
I said Vegas for the longest time. Like I don't know.
Bakersfield, Mechanics Bank.
I wouldn't hate it. No, Vegas. I think Vegas would be perfect. I would love it if it was in Vegas.
I mean, you got good weather. You got hotels for every single person and their
Yeah.
mother, and you got enough restaurants, parking. I mean,
Proximity to an airport.
yeah, everything.
Getting to places like you could do one in an arena that's next to a hotel, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. And literally
T-Mobile
could
Arena,
fit
dude,
everywhere.
it's right there in the middle of the dang.
So yeah, either T-Mobile or we go full gangster. We go Allegiant Stadium.
It's probably more expensive though.
Way more expensive. But they try to do a US Bank Arena during COVID. They tried it, and that's the thing. We're due for a football stadium. I
got tickets for that.
All right. Well, let's just say this. You guys both know of someone that recently got engaged, right? That's like a wrestling fan. I'm not going to say names, but hypothetically, bachelor pad, NCAA, bachelor party, everyone meets up.
Ryan, get a box.
Good weekend.
Are you saying me?
No, it's not you. It's someone else.
Oh,
don't say it though. I don't know. I mean, this is all I'm spitballing at the ball here. What do you think? Oh, what if you guys both co-bachelor?
Oh, dude, it'll be a combined one?
Dude.
I didn't even think about that. He would never do that though.
He would. He totally would, dude.
He would not.
Yes.
I love him.
The more people, the cheaper it will be.
I love him, but he does his own thing on his own time. And I don't disrespect it, but that's cool. Like he would never want to do that though. And I mean I wouldn't want to like I would be down. I'd be down. Actually, no, I hate Vegas, bro. I hate Vegas.
It's not in Vegas.
It's in Kansas City.
What am I talking about, dude?
Barbecue, dude.
We could go.
Hey, the more people, the merrier, dude. We can
dude, and I can be like, hey, I'm not paying for anything because it's my bachelor party.
No.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it.
We'll just be like, hey, I'll whole plan it. Like, all right, we're just gonna take my cut out, and you guys are gonna pay for it.
Dude,
heck yeah.
That would be epic.
And just invite a ton of people.
Yeah,
that'd be epic.
That'd be super cool.
Let me just put it in my calendar really quick.
Chalk it up. That's funny. Oh man,
dude, that'd be a trip. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
The first time I went to NCAA's was my senior year of high school, 2008, and it was me, my twin brother, and my best friend Nick. And my best friend Nick, I think he was scared of flying at the time, so he convinced my brother and I for us three to take a train from Oceanside, California to St. Louis, Missouri. It was 50 hours each way, but I got to tell you guys, it was so worth it.
Yeah.
That was the year Coleman Scott pinned Joey Slayton. That was the year Metcalf beat Bubba Jenkins.
Was that that was that year?
Dude, that was the year Flo made the documentary about the 149-pound weight class where it was just stacked. Because I remember watching it and I was like, this is the semis. And years later, I was like, that was the semis. It was nuts because the semis that year was Burrows and Jenkins, and then Metcalf and
not Palmer.
Slater. Palmer. I think it was.
I thought Palmer was in the quarters that year.
I think it was Palmer, and then Slater was in that weight as well.
It wasn't Palmer, and it wasn't Slater.
There was an Edinburgh guy in there, I think, as well.
Gillespie, was it?
Gregor Gillespie, yeah, and then
dude, who was it? What the heck?
Gosh, I don't remember who else was in there.
Oh, Caldwell, Darren Caldwell.
Was there?
Yeah.
Was that the year? Was that the Hendricks year and Johnny Hendricks and
I don't think so.
That year?
I don't think so.
It was around that. It was either like
that'd be within 6,
7, 8.
I think that was the next year because I was.
Why am I not thinking of his
name? He coaches at Arizona now.
Yes.
Wait, back it up. Are you talking about Mark Perry?
Mark Perry and Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah. That was when was
I think that was around that year because that was Oklahoma State's like They were really good at that time.
Yeah,
They had,
they won. Was it three national titles in a row or something like that?
yeah.
That was 2007, so that was the year before.
Oh,
Damn, dude, that was epic. Oh,
Yeah.
but the next year, Mark Perry loses to Eric Tannenbaum from Michigan at the Big Ten Finals, and I thought he did it on purpose. I remember back then I was like, he did this on purpose. He just wanted the same clout that he got the year before for beating like the guy he wasn't supposed to beat. He just wanted the clout at NCAA's. I always thought that to myself. I was like, he lost on purpose, so he
That's
could
a hot take, bro.
so he could beat him the next
that's
year.
that's a big take. Brian, have you ever been?
I've never been.
Never
You
been?
have
Never,
to.
never qualified.
Ah,
I got tickets to go during COVID because it was supposed to be like a J-Rob camper counselor reunion, and yeah, it never happened. But
Dude.
I was talking to I think I was talking to Sean about trying to go this last one, and then it just kind of fell through. But
Yeah.
dude, if we made plans to go, like I'd go. I just have to know ahead of time. So because
Yeah.
there's like I think SU Way State or some kids tournament going on the same weekend, and be like, all right, I'm gonna delegate this.
We're like, hey, let's watch some good wrestling instead of
Yeah.
wrestling. You know,
Hey, sorry, it's my bachelor party. We're going
It's
to
my
Kansas
I'll
City.
tell you this right now. It is the best wrestling experience by 100 times.
It's
Like,
not even close.
it's
not
not even
like, dude, I've been to Worlds. I went to watch Worlds when it was here in Vegas in 2015, and it was super cool. I got to watch Jordan Burroughs win a world title. I'm sorry, I'd rather go to NCAA's any day of the week. I don't care, and I don't care what world championships it is. I don't care US Open, whatever. NCAA championships is the tournament to go watch. I mean, you've seen it on TV. Just imagine being there in person and you hear Penn State erupt when their guy gets a takedown. You hear Iowa erupt when their guy wins. You hear the entire place erupt when there's a huge upset in the first round. There's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it.
I went the year it was in Cleveland, and it was Ohio State and Penn State, like down to Bo Nickel, Miles Martin. Like,
Oh my god.
it was madness the entire time. Like, literally chants going on in the streets of like, we are Penn State, and then OH, and they were just trying to drown each other out like the whole entire time. Like, walking into the arena, and then every takedown their team got is just like OH, and then like it was just, oh my god.
Okay, so walk us through that moment then where Bo Nickel, Miles Martin, because like I just recently saw an interview with Bo Nickel talking about it a little bit, and it was cool. And apparently he blacked out for the
Yeah, I
little
saw
speech at the end. But what just being in there, what was that like?
it was insanely like loud. I was going crazy too, because like I had never been, and I'd never been in the finals at all. And then like I had this vendetta against Mark Hall because I didn't think he should have won nationals.
The headgear pull the year before.
On the headgear pull. So I was like, that was cheap. Like nothing against Mark Hall, but
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't deserve that. So I had like this vendetta against him. I'm like Zahid is gonna take him out. Like, it's gonna happen. And like me and my cousin had this bet, and that was like the match before, and I'm like, he's gonna beat him. So I was so hyped up for that. I was just like, all these Penn State fans around me, and I was just like, yeah, like suck that, like, and all this, and then sure enough, like they give me all the crap on the next match, even though it really didn't matter. Like, it was crazy because I mean Martin put him on his back. He would have been up 4-0, I think, and then yeah, everyone knows what happened from there. But it was just crazy. That NCAA's was nuts. Like, that was when Kyle Connell pinned Colin Moore, and that was the single
twice, dude.
That was the loudest moment I've ever heard, even louder than the finals. It was bananas in there.
Yeah.
When he like
the fact that he beat him twice was like, that was like, okay, like you're serious about what you're doing. After that, I took him very seriously.
Well, then he went to Penn State.
Yeah.
No. He wrestled one more year at Kent State. Then he went to Penn State.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because we dueled them. We went to Kent State and we dueled them. And Mark Penachek actually won a medical forfeit against him.
I do remember that. I remember I was watching the live stream of it.
Wow.
Because that was, you guys wrestled Drexel that trip?
It was Kent State, Wisconsin, and Iowa.
Oh,
Russell beat Pat Lugo.
He beat Pat Lugo?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. I remember Sean Nickel wrestling what's his face? Oh, that might have been it then, DeSanto. Was that it? Was DeSanto at Iowa already, or was he at Drexel still? Because I remember him wrestling.
He might have been at Drexel.
I thought he was at Drexel, and I feel like I watched the video. I didn't know if it was the same thing.
Hmm.
Man, DeSanto's trying to make a world team.
Yeah.
Almost getting close.
What do you?
It's. Go ahead.
No, you go. Go.
No, you go.
No, you.
No, you go.
Oh, you.
I was just gonna say that it's cool seeing like Marinelli and Lugo and DeSanto, like that classic like Iowa group still pursuing, still competing in world tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, now you go.
Oh. Well, I was going to tie this into Oren's thing since we was talking about his NCAA experience with Coleman Scott. What do we think about the Coleman move?
I love that, man. It was such a shock, and immediately I didn't think that he was going to Oklahoma State. And like the moment I read that comment, I was like, why didn't I think that he was going directly to Oklahoma State? But the whole Esposito thing was weird because it felt like very political almost. Like, oh, Esposito is taking a new position. I was like, oh, why is he leaving Oklahoma State? Oh, that's why. But I don't know, was it like arranged before? Was Coleman Scott like, hey, I'm gonna go there, and Esposito's like, okay, I'm out? Or was Esposito like, I'm out, and Coleman's like, okay, I'm out too. This is where I want to go.
I don't know.
I mean, you can speculate, right? You can speculate. I think I'm a big fan of Esposito. I'm a big fan of Coleman Scott as well, but I think just the way and the timing of everything, it seems very like he was basically told like, okay, we know John Smith, he's getting to the end. We don't know if it's going to be this year. We don't know if it's going to be next year or the year after, just because I think his son's going to be a freshman this year. Is that right? Smith's son. For me, it seems like Esposito got forced out. Like that's purely speculative. This another position to open up with USA Wrestling. It's a great job. He's going to do a really great job there. He's gone, and now you saw Tyler Caldwell got promoted. Gary Wayne Harding got promoted, and Coleman Scott leaves.
Yeah.
Now this was a while ago because this was after Oklahoma State had a terrible year, and I was talking with Carlo about it. And one of the things that I feel like is the reason for part of why they're not having as much success, it's kind of like this happens sometimes with big programs, except for Penn State, but they almost get in this bubble where they almost get stuck in like, this is the skill that we do. This is the techniques. This is the way that we run practice. This is how we do things. And they don't change. And John Smith has even admitted when like NIL and the transfer portal stuff was happening that like, okay, initially they were not like down to play that game. And after they had a bad year, like had this press conference is like, we're going to look into it. Like we have to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
And I think this was probably their plan. And Coleman Scott is probably the best example of a Cowboy alum that went off and did his own thing, worked with an Iowa Golden Boy, Tony Ramos, got a completely different experience, still taking all of the lessons they learned from John Smith in the program. But now he's gone out and done his own thing, made something, had success, created national champions, had a really good team at UNC. Now he's bringing all that experience back to OSU. I think that's a great fit, and it's probably the best fit for them if they didn't want to hire outside that bubble.
Yeah,
I agree.
Do you think anyone follows him?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Who would go? You mean wrestler or
coach? Wrestler.
Yeah, I mean they got Kane. He's tough. He just took like top 6, I think, and then
Zach Sherman is really good. I like him.
He's done though. Is he? He might.
I just remember when he was a Blair kid, and he's been relevant. Just he hasn't like placed or anything yet. But
who else do they got?
I wouldn't be surprised. But you'd have to look at the OSU lineup and see exactly where these guys fit. Even though they've had a down year, like they still have some pretty tough guys in their lineup.
Yeah.
I can't name any of them right now off the top of my head. I think
Whitlick,
G Feller's gone.
Olenek, they got
I forgot. How do we forget about Olenek, man?
Come on, man.
Wait, where'd Olenek? He's at Oklahoma State?
Oh, yes, sir.
From NIU, yeah.
Man, I keep forgetting that. Good for him.
Who else? They got the Mastro Giovanni's. They were the 25, and then I think the one to the
well, the bigger one, the younger one, just left.
The bigger one, right?
Yeah, he went to Northern Colorado.
You're right. Yeah, I did see that.
I have like the sheet up.
Voinovich is gone. He went to Iowa.
Yeah.
Who?
Voinovich.
They got what's their 90 Serber? He's tough too.
Yeah.
Serber. and then I feel like they have one other guy.
They have some guys coming
They
in.
got Plot, Dustin Plot.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's
So
tough.
they got all Americans throughout the lineup for sure.
Yeah.
They just yeah, I think they need some new guidance is going to do them very well. Whatnot.
And I think Fix is coming back one more year. Right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
For real?
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's
crazy.
back, baby.
Hey,
He wants to win a title, and I get it. He wants to win a title, and he can.
I thought he used his COVID year.
I don't think so. I think he has one more year left, which
Oh
is
my
so
goodness.
crazy.
That 21 season, I think, was his first season.
I don't know. I suppose
He should Olympic redshirt this year.
if he would have made the finals this year, he would have been the only and he would have if say he would have lost, he'd been the only 4-time runner up in the history.
Oh, interesting.
He still can be the first 4-time runner up.
I suppose.
He could.
It's not too late. He still
Not too
can.
late. I heard though. Did you guys hear that he might be going to 57 kilos? So I wonder
Yeah.
if it drops to 125.
I don't see that happening. I think it might be more like a Kyle Snyder situation, like wrestle up at the weight just for part of the college season, and then compete at the lower weight for freestyle.
I mean, I think for his body, that's probably the best way if you're going to try to make an Olympic team and win a national title.
Yeah.
I don't think
who
he
knows?
managed 125s for the whole
But yeah,
year.
I can't imagine he's looking at anyone at 125 or 133 that he doesn't feel like he can just dominate on at this point.
Vito?
Oh.
But,
He should honestly he should run from Vito because he could beat Vito, but Vito's too long for him and too tricky. And what Dayton is Dayton eventually can't score on guys. People get good enough where he can't score on them. He gets in these 1-1 matches and he loses on a locked hands. He loses on a headgear pull. He loses on a weird technicality in like triple, quadruple overtime. And Vito doesn't wrestle those kinds of matches. Vito's very offensive. So Vito, did they wrestle? They wrestled, right, at NCAAs? Yeah.
Vito smashed him. He got majored?
Yeah.
Vito smashed him.
Dude, Fakes has to find a way to score. Like, you have to find a way to get takedowns. You look at all of his matches, dude, like all of his folk style matches, if it's anyone that's somewhat tough, it's like 3-0.
I feel like it's his body type against certain guys. I feel like he can't do it against like the longer, lankier guys.
No, because he wrestled Chance Rich and it was like 3 or 4-0 or something like that.
Didn't he lose to McGee from ASU for 3rd and 4th? Or did he end up pulling that one out?
Yes, I believe he did.
But it's like, what's your path to victory, Dayton? Like, I don't mean to be a hater, but I'm a hate on him. It's like, dude, you can't just be, stuck in a collar tie forehead to forehead.
Well, it's frustrating because he's good. Like, he's good.
He can score.
He just doesn't open up. It's like to me, I feel like you have those athletes that you coach and you're like, dude, you're so much better than you're just harnessing it in. Just like let yourself wrestle and like just let it fall.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, hopefully he gets his title.
No, okay. He's gonna drop down to 25s. I'm calling it.
You think so?
If he's gonna wrestle 57 kilos, he's gonna drop down to 25s, make it the full year for himself down there. He's gonna like figure out how to just be at that weight. But I don't think he wants to wrestle Vito. I don't think and I could be wrong, but to me it's like I could be a runner up again and really create. But he never ran from RBY. And like I'd be more scared of RBY than I would be at Vito, honestly. But I don't know.
Man, not this last year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, okay, so
I think if you're talking about track record wise, then yes, but
track record, yes. If you look at like knowing what you know about Vito this upcoming year, I don't think he necessarily runs from anyone. But in terms of who's a bigger threat wrestling wise, if you just looked at Roman Bravo Young versus Vito, Vito clearly separated himself from both him and Roman Bravo Young and Fitz.
Absolutely.
Oren, do you think he is going to wrestle a full college schedule at 25?
Probably not. That's probably what he'll kind of like settle for. But now I'm like starting to like backtrack a little bit. I mean, I don't feel like Dayton runs from anyone, so I can't like I could see him doing it for like, hey, I have a better shot to win an NCAA title here, and I'll stay at the weight. But also, why would you stay at that weight that long? Maybe to make it easier, maybe to be more comfortable at that weight. And I mean, Oklahoma State, they're known for cutting weight, so I could see like, hey, like you're gonna be 57s, you're gonna be 125s. but
Yeah.
He
I
should
don't
just
know.
go. He should just go 65 kilos.
Oof.
Let's go.
Just go up. Just go
He's
up.
not.
Just go the other way.
It's too
He could
big.
be Yanni.
Cowboy, dude, get some
He ain't
supplements from your
beating-
dad.
No.
Like, just go up to 65 kilos.
He ain't beating Yanni or Zane or
Yanni, well, yeah, fair enough. Who's that 57s? Is Gilman gonna go 57s?
I mean, it's like
Yes.
Nishan, Seth Gross, possibly if he drops. Zane Richards, who's our rep right now, Gilman,
Well, Vito goes 57.
Spencer Lee.
I hope it is like the senior nationals that we want. Like, I
Yeah.
hope all these guys go. We have crazy matchups. Like, I'm trying to think like what weights have been more fun in the past years in terms of who is actually competing, who has a legit chance at medaling, who has like a cool story. Like, I can maybe think of like 65 kilos, maybe at the 2012 trials where you had Pico, you had Molinaro, you had Brent Metcalf, you had Kellen
2016.
Russell.
16.
Was it 2016? Yeah,
16.
you're right.
I just remember because I was
right.
working Reno Worlds and I was watching Pico against Molinaro and I was like, dude, I was like, he's gonna do it. And then he didn't do it. And I was like, crap. Honestly, if he beats Molinaro right there, I feel like he waits to fight.
Yeah.
I felt like he would have waited a little bit. I felt like he would have maybe gone to college. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I think he was just on that track. Anyways.
Yeah.
I saw a video of him recently of him like wrestling, put on wrestling shoes and like wrestling around. And I'm just like, dude, we miss you. We need you.
That guy was so good.
So good.
He still has NAIA eligibility.
He does.
Just go be a
Yes.
timer.
Junior college and NAI. Could be either
Oh, yeah,
one.
true.
Brady, you guys could be teammates. Go
Okay.
wrestle at Vanguard or something.
I got a year and then a red shirt.
You
Or
do?
I'm pretty sure I have 2 red shirts, honestly. Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
I took.
You have a medical red shirt?
I
That's
like
not how the, I don't. You can't just like, well, I was injured like 10 years ago.
this.
I'm gonna keep
Really,
this medical
this
red.
sounds really suspicious, but like I'm pretty sure I took a medical red, but I don't know if I did. Like I never ever like did anything. So like
Or you didn't like fill anything out or anything.
no, like I never did. So I don't know. Like I definitely have a regular red shirt, and then I have another year of eligibility.
Yeah, I mean with a regular red shirt, you don't have to fill anything out.
Oh yeah,
That's interesting. With medical, you have to get approved for it though.
that's what I thought. But
Well,
I mean,
that's for
Right?
NCAA. Is it the same as NAIA?
I don't know. I like never
I don't
competed
know.
in a match that year. I got hurt before the season, and it was just like I had to get surgery, and I was out.
Dude, NAIA just feels like the Wild West. Like
It's
any
crazy.
point, like we'll have 70 guys on our roster. Like we'll just take away and add people scholarships. We'll just start giving out $2,000 scholarships to people just to get them to come and fill our spot.
Is that what they're doing?
But I mean, so there were some schools that like I had like brief, weird, awkward interactions with where it was like that. It's like, hey, there was one school, I'm not going to say who it was,
That was recruiting you?
that was recruiting me out of high school. And like, I thought, like probably skill wise, like I'd probably match up. Like I figured I was going to get a decent offer. And the guy initially like told me he was going to call me at this time and ended up flaking on me, like no call, no show, like nothing.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God.
dude, screw this guy. And then he gets back to me the next day and he's like, hey, do you still have time for a call? And I'm like, yep. So he calls me and he gives me his offer on the phone. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll think about it. And then I talk to my mom. I'm like, dude, that asshole. Like,
Yeah. No, there's some rosters that are ginormous, man. There's like, I mean, there's a few teams. I'm not going to say names, but they got like 60, 70 guys on their roster. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, isn't the NCAA have a cap? Like at
25,
like,
I think it is, right?
did that?
it depends. It depends on the school, actually.
It does, right?
So
Cal State
like
was
Mizzou,
25.
yeah. So there's 25. They're supposed to be raising it to 30, I think.
Nice.
But like Mizzou has like, I think it's like 40 or something like that.
Wow.
Like some of these bigger schools, they have a bigger roster.
Mizzou's interesting. Do you notice that every year Mizzou, except I think this year they like competed with everyone else during the regular season. But if you've noticed, like last like grip of seasons, they'll like they'll come into the NCAAs with like these incredible records, 30-1, 30-2, and like some guys who like shouldn't have those records. And they get ranked super high at NCAAs, and you're like, oh, they haven't wrestled anyone all year. And all of a sudden they just have these beefed up records and they all get like seated high. And last year they finally all had like competed like thoroughly. And they were like, I think they were seated pretty fairly last year, but I've always noticed whenever I'm filling out the brackets, I'm like, dude, these guys haven't wrestled. They've wrestled, they go to what did they go to? They go to that
They
thing.
probably go to an open somewhere down south. I'm assuming.
And they do that thing in Florida all the time, the Southern Duels or whatever.
So I'm not sure if it's happened. I'm getting them mixed up. Are they doing the one that's happening in Nashville this year?
Nashville, and then there's one at Lehigh, I think, or like in Lehigh area.
What's the
I
one?
don't know. I don't know if it's the one that they're going to. Last year they did a Florida one because Rob Cole? No, Rob Cole's not from Florida, is he? Who's from? Who am I thinking of? They do it in Florida intentionally because I think they both coached together at was it Navy under Spates? But they're friends, so they do it because what's his face now? Brian Smith is from Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dude, sometimes I just try to say things and it just doesn't come out like the way I want it to. Well, guys, we've been going for over an hour. We can keep going, but I know, dude, we can talk all day.
What do we want? We want to finish it on something. Man, we talked about a lot of stuff.
What are you most excited for this upcoming wrestling season, either for high school, for college, for Olympics? What are you most excited for and why?
Me, first of all, Worlds. I can't wait for Worlds. Worlds is gonna be exciting. I think this next month it's coming up, September, end of September. Excited for Worlds, but for the wrestling, like high school, college, anything specific?
Yeah, anything.
I'm excited for just wrestling season be back. I love college wrestling. Yeah, I just want to see the guys wrestle. I want to see the new guys. I want to see the young guys. I want to see the old guys. Same every season. I just want to see the competition. I want to see how Penn State stacks up. I want to see who takes second to Penn State. I want to see all of it.
Brady?
Same. I mean, how our team can develop and what we can do as a team this year. And then get some kids to go to college, move on further education is always good. College wise, hopefully get to NCAAs. That's the goal. Right?
Let's go.
Get to spectate that with a bunch of other rowdy dudes. And then Worlds is always the best. I don't know. My wife thinks I'm crazy for staying up and waking up at like 3 a.m. to watch Worlds. So
it's worth it.
That happens every year. I'm like, all right, you got like 3 days. I'm staying up to watch it. I'm like, sorry, Greco guys, but I'm watching the freestyle. Like I'll catch you guys in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, no offense. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, where do you think Granite is going to finish? If you just looking at your team right now, I know it's hard to pick because you never know what's going to happen. Where do you think they're going to finish? Do you think top 10 again, top 5?
I don't know. I don't want to get myself into trouble here. If I say something bad, then my team's going to get upset, and if I say something too good, then other teams are going to get upset. So it's hard. I think I don't know.
Let's say this: how many state placers are you going to have? Do you think you're going to have?
As many as we can, Brian.
More or less than 5.
If we get 5, that'd be amazing. That'd be fantastic.
That'd be sick.
I mean, even a really, really good team, like a top 5 team, sometimes they don't even have. Well, I guess now they probably do, but
it's hard. It's hard now.
I think right now, I was talking to someone about this. Like, honestly, the top 5 teams are like almost locked, and they're interchangeable, like in certain ways, or like even the top 6. Then like 7, 8, like the 7 through 10 range could be shuffled.
Yeah.
Like, in a sense, I guess, like whoever performs better, but it's who comes ready and who's hungry at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this next year, I think for high school, like I'm excited for some individuals on our team for sure. Just guys that I think still have their best wrestling ahead of them. I think I'm excited just for honestly just this podcast, dude. I feel like it's just been fun, and I know you guys are busy, but hopefully you guys can come back on more and more, and we can do this again, like a little bit how we used to. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited for getting married. That's gonna be fun. But and side note, dude, I think that bachelor party idea is pretty sweet. And talk. I think pretty much all my groomsmen are wrestlers. So
Dude, did you just announce groomsmen live on the podcast?
I mean, I can, but I already sent out invitations. So if you guys, no offense, but you guys aren't groomsmen, but
Well, here's my.
you're gonna be.
Let me
We're
send my
doing.
address in the chat really quick.
We're gonna do a small, like pretty small elopement, but you guys are on the list, so don't worry about
Nice.
that.
Where are you guys doing it at?
We're gonna do Leo Carrillo.
Where's that?
It's like a little state beach near Malibu. It's like literally
nice.
on the line between Malibu and Ventura.
Just don't do it during hurricane season.
No. I actually gotta talk to. I gotta talk to our friend and make sure they don't pick the same date.
Let's end this podcast and we can get to some goodies.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us.